Hello everyone. Well, this is an amazing week we will get into by tomorrow early morning. A boom week ahead. Q just posted this along with many other posts, and it's totally in line with what I have predicted. What is seemingly coming our way. And I will give you a little insight why I am so convinced that something really big is just around the corner. Well, there's it really seems time is right. We are ready, whatever that means. There's many signs. Just want to show you this one here too, which Dr. Shiva just published a few hours ago, 5 hours ago it says here. Have gotten thousands of messages from all over the world for me to perform a computational system biology analysis of adrenochrome through CytoSolve to understand its mechanism of action. Anyone know about adrenochrome? Thousands of messages asking for it. It seems people are just waking up in huge numbers that something really weird is going on this planet, and it's very much in time with what we will see happening on the big screen, the world events, uncensored this time it seems. You see Jupiter here rising. Now this is the moment when the Sun is crossing the line of 13 degrees 15 Taurus, which is tomorrow early morning, 1:30 in Washington, D.C. And that is hexagram 2 between 1315 and 1852-30. Hexagram 2 and Earth enters hexagram 1. The dragon, the 6 yang lines, that's the first hexagram in the IXION, which is the forces of heaven sixfold. It's the most yang energy there is. So this in itself shows us that the next 6 days will definitely be making history. Now, the moment when the Sun enters a new hexagram, or by that matter any other planet, is showing the climate, the setting for what this planet's manifestations will be through that period. So with the Sun and Earth, it's always about a 6-day period we're getting into. And that means between the 3rd and roughly the 9th of May, this energy of hexagram 1 here will be active. With Jupiter rising, Jupiter actually very close to the American nation's Pluto. Pluto at the American nation is 2732 Capricorn. I'm just showing you quickly here the chart. That's the American chart. Here is Pluto. So this degree is supercharged, and with Jupiter here approaching, not quite making it, interestingly enough, Jupiter will turn retrograde at 27 degrees, I guess in 8 minutes or something, actually in an exact semi-sextile to the galactic center, which I have not really marked here, but you can just think of it at 2708 Sag. So this in itself is resonating that galactic power of opening the curtains to a whole bigger vision, I would say. It definitely amplifies that Jupiter station, which is around May 14, but Jupiter already is almost there in the last days, about a week or so. These outer planets slow down and already totally are carrying that strong energy. So this is very exciting to see Jupiter here, which means it will be a success, a breakthrough, which in general we see happening in the United States as that big power struggle, that big silent war seems to climax, coming to a place where it's breaking out into the open. Just thinking of Q having kind of sown the seeds Q in the last 4 months or so several times has given the message the silent war, and then there were dots behind it. So I guess it started in January with 5 dots, then 4 dots, in April there were only 3 dots, 2 dots, and the latest message, which was just released with that sentence in it, only had 1 dot behind, and it was Dave from X22 report, which very well, it makes sense what he says, that each time a dot is disappearing, that means we're getting a step closer to its actual manifestation of coming out of its hiding, that silent war really breaking out into the open, and that's what most likely will happen. Now, this is just one small aspect of what we will see. By this alone, I wouldn't be so excited and so convinced that something really big is happening. There's a few more things. I have written a post, I have done another podcast on that whole change of the lunar nodes. I guess that's the major one. The lunar nodes will change signs from Cancer to Gemini, the nodes go backwards, and the south node from Capricorn to Sagittarius. This in itself is really a huge shift that happens on May 5. Those of you tuned into Q know the term 5-5 has been mentioned many times, so this could well be a hint that it will be that particular day when things really develop into that avalanche, that major event, that really big eruption, you could say, into the mainstream, that everybody all of a sudden will know, or something is really happening here and we were duped, we believed in the wrong narrative for so long, so there will be shock and whatever, you know what I'm meaning. Now, again, this by itself wouldn't say too much, but it comes in a whole array of other cosmic changes happening at the same time. That one of the big ones is IXION. I mentioned that also in my last podcast, and I wrote a longer article about it and gave a whole series of charts which document that amazing arrangement. In mundane astrology, I should throw in, you never can really make predictions out of one single chart. There has always to be kind of a construct of many different charts, many different celestial bodies pointing into the same direction. Now, IXION, I should just give you a quick breakdown. Is a Plutino, was discovered in 2002, I guess. A Plutino meaning sharing the same orbital signature as Pluto, a very complex character named after a ruthless king, and he was involved in bloodshed. Actually, the first and one and only of these demigods which the astronomers have used to name these celestial bodies. The only one who did kill one of his kind, of his own family, and he was even boasting about his sins. And in punishment, Zeus, the master god, put him on a winged spinning wheel and forced him to repent and to display, to be on public display, to be shown to the whole world, and to repent and for spilling kindred blood, disrespect and betrayal of trust, of people who had trusted in him. So this is a big theme, and why I will get more into that in my next podcast. I don't want to make them too long here, so you don't get turned off by a long talking pieces here at once. So anyway, I want to say that another thing, and I will get really deeper into this, is Mercury. Mercury also on May 4, actually to be exact, will be at its what's called the superior conjunction. Now you have to imagine Mercury has a 4-month rhythm of the between Sun, Earth and Mercury. So Mercury every 4 months moves between Sun and Earth, and that's around the time when it moves retrograde, when it appears to go backwards for a few weeks. That was, let's say it that way, on February 25, Mercury was exactly between Sun and Earth, in that sense starting what's called a new synodic Mercury cycle. And the upper conjunction is when then Mercury is kind of behind the Sun. So you can think of in February Mercury was here between Sun and Earth, if this is Earth here, and now Mercury is behind the Sun. That is the upper conjunction, that is the culmination of that mercurial dance. And Mercury, the Sun-Mercury cycle, is about what's gonna be a major theme in the collective. What we will think about, talk about, what will be on our mind, and I will definitely get deeper into that in that broadcast. However, for now I just want to add on one more thing here, which is the midpoint chart between this one here of the Sun entering hexagram 1, activating this dragon energy for the next 6 days, and the base chart, the American chart, because as I have repeatedly said, the American chart is amazingly accurate. It gives deep insights and have made multiple predictions which exactly manifested on the day where I was expecting things to happen. And what I'm using is the midpoint chart that goes back to an astrologer, Ronald Davison, who first was thinking about that. So this is a time and midpoint chart between the American nation, the 1776 chart, and that moment when the Sun will cross that line tomorrow early morning. Now here you have Mars right at the 4th house cusp. Now this is really powerful, particularly so as it squares that exact spot where Jupiter is right now, where the ascendant will be tomorrow early morning when the Sun will cross that line, and also where Pluto is. So Mars links right into this Grand Cross, and this is a great activation. Mars at the 4th house cusp is really the earth breaking open. It's a big jolt of action. Mars in the 4th house, the action in the structure of your family, in that sense spoken. It's in a country's chart, naturally it's the inner workings of that nation which where the energy goes into. So it will be the exposure, probably most likely the arrest of some high level people involved, likely in FISA. So we could think of Brennan or Comey or one of these top people of the Obama administration to be taken in or indicted. So it could also be other expressions, but you probably get the idea. That's the picture, that's the direction we're going to. It will be a big shock to many people who still have believed in all the wrong narratives. Now, another kind of support, I mean, there's many more things going on in this chart. Just want to highlight a few more things. Is the black moon. Now you have to think this chart moves half as fast as the transits, because it's in the midpoint. Naturally, the base chart is still point, and the transit energy that moves at a regular speed, so the midpoint moves at half speed. So in that sense, when the sun moves 1 degree here, that covers 2 days. Now, yes, here you see this Pluto conjunction, very interesting. And there's a full moon which will be exact around May 5, about 2 days later. Now again, think this is the midpoint chart between the base chart and this one, which is May 3. So if we think of 1 degree more, that is 2 days, that would be around May 5. Again, very much exact, dead on, when Mercury will have its upper conjunction and the nodes will change and IXION will change back in sync with the lunar south node. Now the lunar south node is about the past, it's about our assets and what baggage we carry with us to be resolved. So it all really fits in. I will leave it at that for now. I could say many more things. I won't, because I want to keep it short and concise. And so thank you for joining in and listening, and talk to you soon.